background of the company. So that the syarikat keropok kapal tapah is well known as not only in Terengganu but through the Malaysia. So the business is conducted at the Parang, Terengganu. That the operating hours will be 13 hours, we starting on 8 a.m. until 9 p.m. So the keropok leko is quite famous in Terengganu, which is the syarikat keropok leko, keropok mengabang tapah. So the main speciality of keropok leko sold that premise is a freshness of the cracked produce. That combination of two products will make keropok leko famous, which is the keropok leko and then with the chili sauce. So the history of the company, the keropok leko, the syarikat keropok leko mengabang tapah, well known in Terengganu, so that it will be great because of manufacturing and the processing of keropok leko in area of mengabang tapah, so that will be called syarikat keropok mengabang tapah. So the company has been in operation from 19 years ago, from 2003 until now. So it will continue and develop the business. The owner will be obtain the capital to further the expense the business with the financial institutions, will not by SME bank. So the keropok leko is produced through the 5 process can be sold to the customer. So the cracker will be produced around one ton per day to meet the demand of the customer, to make sale about the 5,000 until 10,000 per day, so that the total sale can be reached 20,000 until 30,000 per day.
Now I will share how they start selling keropok leko. At the beginning of the business, the size of their sales market was small. They only sold keropok leko product in their village. Until now, they have managed to expand their famous keropok leko business throughout Malaysia. Among the product they sell are 4 types of cracker: boiled cracker, sliced cracker, fried cracker, and last one is frozen cracker. Not only that, but the business also produce its own brand sauce. Keropok Mengabang Tapah company has 39 employees in the both brands at Pantai Merang Situ and Kampung Rahmat Permaisuri. Both brands had a majority of female employees. The age range of the worker is between 20 to 30 years old. Business owner also have a fish processing plant to further facilitate the processing of cracker and the distribution of cracker at the branch for sale to customer. The factory has allocated 50 workers.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So today I will explain the independent variable and dependent variable that our group choose, which is emotion, motivation, leadership, and job or work stress. The first IV is the motivation. Motivation can be defined as the internal force that impact the direction, intensity, and endurance of a person in the choice of behavior. So everyone must have their own motivation based on the three theory, which is Maslow hierarchy of theory, where this theory states that person need to be fulfilled in the specific order. In the second theory is rhetoric has dual factory, where the most important theory of the motivation is hygiene and motivators, and the last theory is David McCullough needs for achievement, where this theory states that pupil needs are shaped by their life over experience time. The second theory is the leadership. Leadership can be defined as the ability of the management to make sound decided and to inspire others to perform well. So the organization must have their own leadership based on the three theory, which is transformational leadership theory, where the leader can give positive changes in those lead and are invested to the success of every single member. The second theory is the transactional theory, where this theory states that manager give what employee wants and employee give what manager wants. And the last theory is charismatic theory, where the manager lead to the performance of employee common vision using their charms and persuasiveness. The third IV is the emotion. The emotion can be defined as the short and intense feeling resulting from some event. Emotion can be classified as three types, which is psychology theories, which is body respond to the emotion, neurological theory, where the brain leads to the emotion, and cognitive theory, where the mental lead to the emotion. So there are three theories of emotion, which is James Lange theory, where this theory defines that emotion occur as a physical to an event. The next theory is Cannon-Bach theory, where this theory states that someone experiences psychological reaction without actually feeling the emotion. And the last theory is Schachter-Singer theory, where this theory states that psychological errors occur as someone reason for the arousal experience and label it as an emotion. The DV is the word stress. The word stress can be defined as the dynamic interaction between individual and their environment inferred by the existence of the problem person environment. There are three theories in the word stress, which is person environment theory, which this theory states that stress can arise due to the lack of the individual skills. The second theory is the job demands control theory, where this theory states there are someone ability to control their work by the decision authorities. And the last theory is the effort reward imbalance theory, where this theory states that work that the employee occur is paired with their effort by in terms of money, career or opportunities. Next, I will explain the relationship between IV and DV to the organizational behavior. So the emotion can encourage employee to fully utilize their abilities to doing work, and this emotion can give in the types of money or position. And the good leadership can encourage workers to make their work in the right track, because the leader give the right instructed to them, and the leader must have own criteria to leadership the employee. And the emotion can give effect to the organization, whether it is positive or negative. Like the happy worker can make a work faster. And lastly is the job stress must be avoided, because it can give effect to their job performance other than negative effect like the disrespecting of their managers.
My name is Kirtana Segren with the matrix number S60488. Today I will be covering the methodology. Methodology refers to a process of acquiring information and data in order to make the business decision. Publication research, interviews, surveys, and other research approaches may be employed, as well as a current historical data. The technique for this study includes the use of equipment, data collecting, and data analysis. Next is the instrument. The survey questionnaire consists of 5 parts. Part 1 is the demographic information where the descriptive questionnaire are questioned. Part 2 is the motivational questionnaire. A motivational questionnaire can be used to understand which situation may increase or decrease your motivation. This type of questionnaires aim to determine how conditions found in the workplace could affect your motivation. As with the personality questionnaire, there are no right or wrong answer. It is designed to help the participants secure their job satisfaction towards their current job. The survey was presented for those who work in the company. The questionnaire is 4-scale, 3-item like scale with the anchors from very disagreeable to very acceptable to very agreeable. Part 3 is about the leadership questionnaire. Leadership survey questions are defined as a set of survey questions that would help employees assess leadership in their organization, which is a direct reflection from an individual's ability to oversee a company's growth and advancement. It is designed to inculcate the habits and attitude to become a leader. The survey was presented to those who work in the company. The questionnaire is a 4-scale, 3-item like scale with an anchor ranking from very disagreeable to very acceptable to very agreeable. Next, part 4 is the emotional questionnaire. Emotion Awareness Questionnaire, which is the EAQ, was designed to assess how children and adolescents feel or think about their emotions. This survey was presented to those who work in the company. This questionnaire is like a 4-scale 2-item and a like scale with anchoring hanging from very disagreeable to very acceptable to very agreeable. Lastly, part 5 is the job stress. Job stress was assessed with a 8-scale item developed by Parker and Decotis, which is in 1983. It is a like scale with anchor ranking from disagreeable to very acceptable to very agreeable. Next is the data collection. Following the meeting with the company representative, the respondents were given a total of 40 questionnaires. Each will be covered letter, GIS, JS, and demographics instruments via their human resources department. Lastly, it is the mean and variables. The factors were ranked from very disagreeable to agreeable to very agreeable. These sections presents to mean scores of the variable jobs involvement and work stress. The overall mean scores ranked from 1 to 4, with 1 being the lowest and 4 being the highest. An overall average of 1 should be used to distinguish between the respondents with the high and low scores on the variable. The scale's midpoint should not be interpreted as neutrality. As shown in the table below, the job participants received a score of 3.548 while work stress received a score of 2.0. This suggests that the respondents prioritized the workplace involvement over work stress. This is all for me. I would like to pass to the next person. Thank you.
403, and I will be presenting about the results in our group assignment. First, we'll go to the general questions, and then this is the descriptive statistics of the general questions, which we asked the gender, the age, the working period, and the plan to change job. So as we can see, our respondents were 19 males and 21 females, which is a total of 40 respondents. Then mostly the highest frequency of age is found in 20 to 29 years old, which is 27 people. And the balance is 6 respondents, which is aged from 10 to 19, and 7 respondents from the age of 30 to 39. Then the working period, this is a very balanced working period. As we have less than a year, we have 13 people. More than a year, we have another 13 people. And more than 3 years, we have 14 people with 40 respondents in total. Then the plan to change job, this is good because change job, there's only 12 people. And those that are satisfied and want to stay with their job, there is 28 people, and as I said, the total respondents are coming up to 40. These are the respondents' answers that we from the previous one. So we have your age, the working period, the plan to change jobs, and the next is the motivation questionnaire based on motivation. So the first was my achievement on the current job is satisfactory, and no one has actually said that they are very unsatisfied with the achievements. 10% disagreed, 45% agreed, and 45% very agreeable. So this shows that most of them are actually satisfied with their achievements on the current job. The next motivation based question is I'm given due recognition at work. And here there is a very small percentage that very disagrees, and then there is 17.5% that disagrees, for 37.5% that agrees, and 42.5% that agrees a lot. So this is basically on what they think that if they are given the due recognition at work or not. Next is the work itself is interesting and challenging, where a very small percentage has chosen very disagreeable and disagreeable, but the majority have chosen agreeable, which is 52.5, and very agreeable is 40%, which means their job is, for the majority of them, the work itself is interesting and challenging for them. Next is the leadership questionnaire based on leadership. So the first question on leadership is I love working with our manager, and no one said very disagreeable. A very small percentage said disagreeable, and the majority said agreeable, which is 50%, which is about 20 people, and 45% said very agreeable, which means the managers have been doing a good job and their workers love working with their manager. The next leadership question is our manager is constantly motivating the employees. This is very important. And as before, no one actually said very disagreeable. There was a small amount as well who said disagreeable. Majority, as usual, is 52.5%, which is agreeable, and 42.5% was very agreeable, which means managers have been doing a good job and they are constantly motivating their employees to perform better. Next is also on leadership. Our manager is a good leader. This is actually very important when it comes to a job, because managers actually put on important duty where they have to motivate the employees to actually reach their goals. No one said very disagreeable. 7.5% said disagreeable. 37.5% is agreeable, and this time the majority is saying very agreeable, which is 55%. This shows that managers are doing a good job as a leader as well. Next is emotions. When it comes to emotions, the first question was, I find it difficult to explain to a friend how I feel. 7.5% was very disagreeable. Maybe, let's just say they're extroverts. Maybe they have easier ways to tell people how they explain to a friend how they feel. And then the next is 22.5%. They could still be considered as extroverts, mostly because they don't have a hard time actually explaining. Well, agreeable and very agreeable, which is 37.5 and 32.5% respectively. It could possibly be that they are introverts, as they find it difficult to explain to a friend how they feel. The next is, it is important to know how my friends are feeling, which means you should know how a friend is feeling, which means they come and talk to you. So there we have very small amount which is very disagreeable, 12.5% disagreeable, 32.5% agreeable, and 52.5% very agreeable. The next is job or work stress. Here, the first question is, I have enough time to complete my work. And no one actually said very disagreeable, which means they have enough time. But there is still a 10% that disagrees, and 45% that agrees, and 45% is very agreeable, which means there is enough time to complete the jobs. Next is the last question of the questionnaire, which is, my work is interesting. So no one said very disagreeable, 7.5% said disagreeable, 50%, which is the majority, said agreeable, and 42.5% said it's very agreeable. So these results actually show that their workplace is actually good and their work is actually motivating and interesting for them to actually improve. As earlier, there was a question asking that to plan to change their job. That is not always negative. It could be that they just want to move up their life status. They just want to improve their job, or they maybe have a better pay raise or something. But that doesn't mean it's always bad, because according to our questionnaire, a lot of them has responded well, that their job is interesting, they have enough time, and a lot of good remarks on their jobs. So that is all from me about the results, and thank you.
For the last part, which is discussion and conclusion, the relationship between the independent variable, which is motivation, leadership, and emotion, and the dependent variable, which is job stress, has been examined in this study. He was successful in proving the association exists and opening the way for more research in this area. According to the study's findings, there was a positive association between the independent and dependent variables. These results are consistent with Lawrence and Kapma 2012 findings, which found a connection between engagement and both work stress and role conflict. The individuals are much more likely to feel less stressed at work if their motivations come from a skilled leader who is aware of their emotional needs. According to the findings of this study, there will be less stress associated with the working when there is a higher level of leadership, motivation, and emotional care. Thank you.